Hey there, scientists! Welcome back to the Structures of Science. Today we are going to... hold on. There we go. Perfect. As I was saying, today's lesson is all about forming hypotheses, which are... Again? Why does my poster keep falling down? There. Wait, this frustrating situation could be perfect for our lesson. You can help me form a hypothesis for why my poster won't stick to the wall. Ugh. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to explain what a hypothesis is and create a hypothesis about a scientific question. Let's get into it. Forming a hypothesis is the third step of the scientific method. After making an observation and asking a question about it, scientists have to predict what the answer to the question might be. That prediction, which we call a hypothesis, is what will guide the scientist in developing their investigation. A hypothesis isn't random, though. To help inform their predictions, scientists use their background knowledge and research what has been learned about the question in the past. For example, a scientist might ask, why do bees wiggle their backsides when they're around other bees? Without doing research and learning that bees do this as a form of communication, they might guess the bee's movements are just the bee wanting to show off its fashionable stripes. And sadly, that guess wouldn't lead to a very successful investigation. So, a hypothesis is an educated guess about the answer to a scientific question. The research and background knowledge scientists use to form a hypothesis is why it is an educated guess, rather than just a guess. Let's try to use our observations and our background knowledge to form a hypothesis about our question. Why is the poster not sticking to the wall? Well, what do you think, scientists? Pause the video here to think of all you know about hanging posters. Then, try to come up with your own hypothesis. Great! Now you have your hypothesis. So I should probably think of one too. As a lifelong interior decorator myself, I've hung quite a few posters in my time. That experience has taught me that sometimes the texture of a wall makes it challenging to keep a poster hanging on it. So maybe that's the cause of my poster falling. Looks like I have the start of a hypothesis. Often, scientists will structure their hypotheses in an if-then format, like, if I change the wall the poster is hanging on to one with a smoother surface, then it will stay hanging longer. This if-then structure shows a clear cause and effect relationship for what we will be testing. I'm going to change the wall the poster is hanging on, the cause, to observe how long the poster remains hanging, the effect. Let's form hypotheses for some other scientific questions. Here's something I've always wondered. Why do we put salt on icy roads? Thinking on my background knowledge, I know we want the ice to melt quickly so the roads are safer to drive on. So, does salt make ice melt faster? To test this, I'm going to measure how long it takes for 2 ice cubes to melt, one with salt on it and one without. So, if I put salt on an ice cube, then what do you think will happen, scientists? Pause the video here and complete the hypothesis in your guided notes. In this experiment, I'm measuring the time it takes for the ice to melt, so my hypothesis could be, if I add salt to an ice cube, then it will melt more quickly. Or it could be, if I put salt on an ice cube, then it will melt more slowly, depending on what you think will happen. Adding salt is the cause, and the time it takes the ice to melt is the effect. Great job! Try this next one on your own. Have you ever noticed little specks of mold starting to grow on your sandwich bread? Gross, but fascinating. Is there a difference in how quickly different types of bread mold? To test this, I'm going to leave out a slice of white bread and a slice of wheat bread and measure how long it takes for mold to develop. Pause the video here and think of any background knowledge you have about these types of bread. Then, write an if-then hypothesis for this experiment in your guided notes. Good work, scientists! Once you have formed a hypothesis, you can move on to testing it, like I'm doing. I've hung my poster on our original wall, and I've hung a copy on a tile wall. My hypothesis is, if I hang the poster on the tile wall, then it will stay hanging for a longer period of time. And that time starts now. We should probably just review today's lesson while we wait for the results. Today, we learned that a hypothesis is an educated guess about the answer to a scientific question. A scientist uses their background knowledge and information learned from research to help them form their hypotheses. A hypothesis is often written in an if-then format to show a cause and effect relationship. To learn more about forming hypotheses, be sure to check out the activities and practice questions that go with this lesson. Well, as you might have guessed from the blank wall behind me, the posters did not stay hanging on either of the surfaces, and the poster on the tiled wall lasted even less time than the poster on the painted wall. That means my hypothesis was not correct. But that's okay. Often, we can learn just as much, if not more, from an incorrect hypothesis as a correct one. Sometimes, an incorrect hypothesis can even lead us to solutions we didn't originally think of, like using a thumbtack instead of old tape to hang the poster. And success! This one's my favorite poster. Science rocks! Anyway, remember, scientists, curiosity is the architect of discovery. See you next time. Hey.